the committee, other senior government officials, industry executives, esteemed participants, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. With the permission of the chairman, if you permit me, I'll just provide very brief context to about 4 items, and then I would read my speech in about 3 minutes. With your permission, sir.
You can squeeze the 4 items plus the speech
into 3 minutes.
3 minutes, because you are the author, you are the framer. All the debate we are taking is because of you. We are not giving you any chance for further explanation, but chance to contribute to the bill while we should accept the bill.
All right, sir. My name is Taiwo Yedele. I'm the chairman of the Presidential Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms Committee. So the first one is on the supremacy clause. Just to say that when you have a new law like what is before the National Assembly, you will try your best to identify all the laws that you need to amend, but you may not be able to identify all of them. For instance, if our bill says file returns on the 21st, and there is one law somewhere that says file also on the 14th, you will create problems. So, this is not unusual. Even in the FRS Establishment Act that we operate today, there's a similar provision there. In the Deep Offshore Inland Basin Production Sharing Contracts Act, we have it there. We have it in many laws. The National Assembly will say notwithstanding, because they don't want conflict with the laws that they've just passed. So we believe the way to address this is, if the heading is the problem, we can remove supremacy and then have a more acceptable heading for it. The second issue is on the free zone, and it's important to put this in context. Section 8 of the law setting up the free zones, it says, and I'll read, approved enterprises operating within a zone, emphasis, operating within a zone, shall be exempted from all federal, states, and local government taxes, levies, and rates. I'm sure that the people that represented the zone came for this public hearing, entered most likely an airplane, they paid VAT. They may be staying in a hotel, they will pay VAT. They did not complain about that because the flights and the hotel is not within the zone. Why should CIT be different? The approved list of activities starts with manufacturing of goods for export. You will not find anywhere in that act where it says you can sell to the custom territory. What is fair and proper, and in line with what is done around the world, including Ghana, is that you sell to the custom territory, you pay the taxes. The third one, there are just 4 of them. The third one is on informal sector. Informal sector, we believe, should be looked at with a very different lens from what we have always considered. Though the informal sector is largely made up of nano, micro, small, and medium businesses, it is not synonymous with being small. It is not synonymous with being poor. Neither does it mean low income. It essentially means you have attributes such as the level of regulation or no regulation at all, and lack of proper documentation and record keeping. Therefore, we need to change our strategy as a country when it comes to informal sector. We are currently trying to chase every single person in that sector. It's not working and it will not work. What our strategy should be is to collect data from everyone in the sector as much as possible. First, for economic planning. 2, for policy design. 3, to support them so they can grow. And then we can talk about taxing those with the ability to pay which in our estimation is only the top 3% of the informal sector. And therefore, the presumptive tax regime.
Do you have a paper to present, or have you presented your paper to the committee?
No, sir.
Okay.
Just 2 minutes, sir.
Okay.
So the presumptive regime that we propose, therefore, is meant to allow for regulation, and we're working with the Joint Task Board to develop this detailed regulation. I think the other one that you raised, sir, which I should address, is the issue of consultants, and you mentioned issue of alpha beta. Just to say that we have a provision in those bills that prohibit the use of consultants to collect taxes or to do assessment or any routine work of the tax authority. What you have in that bill that people are misinterpreting is what we have currently in the tax laws that permit the tax authority to use either their own developed softwares and technology or third-party technology. If you want to make a payment today, you don't need to turn the FRS to a technology company or Apple or Google. You can buy softwares and use it. So that is what we have there. It is not in any way suggesting or approving of the use of consultant for tax collection. So I'll quickly read my speech, which is to say, on behalf of the Presidential Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms Committee, I express our gratitude for the opportunity to join the Senate for this public hearing on the tax reform bills, which hold the potential to transform our nation, economic landscape. Taxation is the lifeblood of any functioning state. It funds our infrastructure, supports essential public services, and ensures social equity. However, for far too long, our tax system has been riddled with inefficiencies, ambiguity, inequity, and complexity that have constrained economic growth and hindered revenue mobilization. The system is laced with multiplicity of taxes and many taxing agencies. We impose a high and rising tax burden on businesses, aggressively taxing poverty, capital, and investment, using archaic tax laws with ambiguous provisions. We now have a unique opportunity to reform.
Today is not your day. Today is my day as a chairman committee that will look at what the presidential committee has presented. So I will moderate. What I want you to do is this paper that you are reading now, give it to us as a working document, as your own memoranda, so that because we have passed now every stage of either trying to convince the public or convince us, because we have received memoranda from the public already. So give us this your speech as your own memoranda to the public hearing. Thank you very much. Allow you to round up quick so that,
Yes. I will just jump into my conclusion. So, distinguished senators, the task before us is monumental, but it's also an opportunity to reshape our fiscal future. It's about national prosperity, fairness, and economic resilience. It's about ensuring that social contract works for all our citizens. We are grateful to the National Assembly for the progress made so far with the tax bills and commend the high level of interest and constructive engagement by various groups, organizations, and the general public. This demonstrates our collective commitment to our country and love for our nation above all else. Together, we can build a tax system that is transparent, fair, and conducive to sustainable growth and delivers shared prosperity. The best time for action was yesterday. The next best time is now. May our deliberations so far and the ones we continue with, the submissions and the decisions that the National Assembly will make on the tax bills, birth a new tax regime that uplifts our nation. Thank you, and may God bless you all.